In this video I'm going to do my best to show you how to build the Wolverine tank by Aaaaaaand Studios. So what we need first is part 48. So part 48 is a big wheel. There's two big wheels which I don't think it matters, but I'm going to go for the right one. So we'll need this sprue with the top of the turret on, and this big wheel is part 48. There's a load of small ones, and then you need the big one. And for these especially, you will need to make sure they're clean. So cut any sprue marks off. I cannot stress, for this part of the build you will need it nice and clean. So what you want to do, or what you might want to do, is take the whole section off, because it's not actually needed for this. So that goes on there like that, and I think that's what this little round bit is for. You can glue it on if you want. In fact, I think I'm going to. The instructions isn't clear how it goes. Actually, the instructions says it goes on the other side, but I'm going to put it on this side. So it's supposed to end up something like that. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a groove. There's a bit of a lip on the wheel. It's really not clear at all if there is. So I'll just put it in like that. The small wheels do have grooves on, lips on them, but the big wheel feels like it does not. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small wheels, and it really does not matter what numbers you go for. Just pick any of the small wheels out and just clip 6 of them out. So we have 2 right there. I'll just zoom out a bit. So I've got 2 there. 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it's hard to see where the lip is. It's very faint, but it is there. So I don't know if you can see that in the detail, but that's the way you want to put it. It's not clear where the lip is, but yeah, just glue them to the bottom of the tank, and they fit on really easily. So you could roll them around so it gets a bit of glue on, so it sticks on a lot better, and you won't get glue all over your fingers. Happy days, happy days. So yeah, make sure all the rivets are the right way round. It will matter here. That one's already stuck on. Hey. Some of them are a bit tighter than the others due to how the plastic is. I think it's a case of your versions may vary. And just keep making sure you've got them the right way round, and keep making sure you've got them clean, or if they're not clean, move it round to an area where they are clean. No mold, no sprue marks on, otherwise you will regret it. So I'll put a bit more on there just cause. So that goes on there. Like so. So this is what you get at the end of all that. What we want is part 77, which is the other side. All these ports will go in these posts. They're like a little nub, and they will go in like that. Now that's friction held on pretty well, but I would recommend gluing it on, because trust me, the track will be a pain. So that goes together like that. If you want to glue super glue activator, go ahead. It's really not going to matter. So we'll need part 84 and 85 of the track. They're all in different sections. So it's on this part with the base of the turret. 84 is this part and 85 is this part. So we'll just snip them out. Be careful because you might, as snipping it off the sprue, you might snip these smaller sections off. I'll just focus. Thank you. So yeah, like I say, snip it off the sprue might snip this bit off it as well, so be very careful. So these will come off and hardly any sprue will be left on. It's pretty much the same with all the bits of the tank track. You've just got to be careful. So these will go in a certain order. So what is best is put them in a line. So I've just taken part 85 out, so it's 85 first, then 84, so it goes like that. Then we need part 83, which is a really small one. 83 is on the same sprue, and it's this little bit here. Then we need the long bit, which is 78 on the same sprue. This long bit. Yeah, can't be as liberal because it's on the track teeth. So I'll just show you how I've got it. So this bit first, this, then this bit, then this bit, then this bit. So next is part 79. Yeah, it's another one of these little bits. Next is part 80. Is that on the same sprue? It certainly is. It is here. And then next is part 81. Which is on the same sprue. In fact, the other two bits are, so 81 and then 82, which is this bit. So then what you want to do is get the tank, and then we'll start from the back. So we'll get this part, if you've laid them all out in a line, this little curly bit, which was part 85, this bit here, and this should go on the back of the tank. So how I've got it is these three little teeth go in like that, and it wants to hook onto the sides like so, and it holds onto the track with friction fairly easily. So what I'm going to do is open it up. Well, I'm going to take it off because it's not holding on that well. So I'm going to put a dab of glue on. Put a dab of glue on there, and then put it on. And if it'll feel fit, like so. So this will make things a lot easier, because then we've got this bit that comes up next that will go in there. And what's nice about things now is you can just align it so it's on straight. You don't want a wibbly tank track, so that looks pretty straight on. And then with this one little tooth, it will go in here, because we've got two outer teeth that will hug it. Well, two arms I suppose. The glue's not dried enough, and I've not put any glue on the other side. I will fix that. And how I will fix that is putting a bit of glue on for the next bit of track. That's quite a lot of glue I've put on there, but no matter. So it will hold on by friction, just so you can see how things go. But as long as you've got it all flush and straight, it'll be fine. If you've not got it flush and straight and fine, then there will be problems. but it will look like it's wrapping around the tracks, so there won't be any problems until you reach the very, very small pieces. So just to help you a bit more, there's 3 little teeth on this really small bit of track which will hold on with a bit of friction, only a tiny bit mind, which will help. So next we have all the track, well, the long bit should I say, and the teeth. Well, we'll go on to the next bit. If you've got it on right, it should just go on, which I have not, because it's not going on properly. So it's probably best if I unglue this little section, and then I'll get this big bit of track and then put it into this small bit, and also put some glue on, because that way it won't matter if the tiny bit of track is not glued on, because the rest of it will be. Because of friction, it'll hold. Chances are when you paint it, it'll help hold it a lot as well. And because it's glue, you have to be somewhat quick, otherwise it'll come off or it'll stick. You could use activated, but with the delicacy of the track, I honestly would not. So that goes on there like so. Just give it a bit of a push in this little bit. Don't go too mad, otherwise it will come out and it will screw you over. So next is another really small bit of track, and if you've been keeping notice, the teeth go in there like so, and that should end up like that, or somewhere to that degree. So I'll put a bit of glue in there. So that will go in there like so. If it's not going on right, just give it a bit of a tap. Not too much of a tap, you don't want to go overboard with it. So next we have this slightly long bit, which should go in there, as long as you're careful. So a bit of glue, bit glue, bit glue, and a bit of glue. So that will be like that. And as you can see, it's pretty much flush to the wheels. That's how you want it. If it doesn't look flush, yeah, fiddle with it a bit, but like anything arty and whatnot, don't fiddle too much, otherwise it'll just be a mess. You will regret it. So this part next, if you've got it in a line, in a conga line, just zoom out a bit. So this bit will go, I'll just put a bit of glue, because now we're on the easy road to home. On one side of the tracks anyway, not on the other side yet. So that goes like that. So finally we've got this piece, and again it does the same thing. For those of you who've got the instructions and are wondering why I'm doing it this way around, it's because I want to. That is the only reason I have got. So that will go in there. And it will be a bit slanted. So that should end up like that. So there's a tiny wee gap. You can see it, like so. So we'll do the other side of the track. So, like I said before, cut out all the other wheels. So this time it's part 70, which is this other big wheel, which will go on here. Kind of hard to do it with one hand. So there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6. So again, a bit of glue on this one. And then put a bit of glue on for the other wheels, making sure the riveted parts are showing. So that on there. I suppose because you'll have some glue when you're putting the track on, it'll help hold things down. So this end one's going to be a bit of a problem, so you probably want to put some glue on the top one. Right, so will it open still? Probably best if you move it round if it doesn't. Yeah, because then otherwise you might have glued it on the bottom, because the post, that bit is where the post of the ramp is, so just be careful, just make sure it can still move. So that's that. So now we can take this section which we was going to glue on the wrong side, and then just start putting dabs of glue in the middle like so. There we go. So we'll just glue itself like so. So now we need the other parts. So we need part 60 and 59. Okay, so it's on this sprue. So this is part 59, I think. No, that's part 60. Oh yeah, we need part 60. Okay, we'll put that there. 59. It's kind of like we're doing the other track, but in reverse. And this is the track which will give you the biggest problem. With the other track, it's in the right order, so you probably didn't need to actually glue the exterior part on. But on this side, which we're doing at the minute, it's best if you definitely do all this. So probably best if you do them on both sides, so you know what you're doing a bit more. Next, we need part 58, which is it on the same sprue? 58 is on the same sprue. So that can come out and go like that. So there's a little sprue part. Is it part 57 next? It is. So another one of those little bitty sprue parts. So we need the long bit, which is part 56, which is on the little sprue actually, just to make things awkward for you, keep you on your toes. So that is next. Then we need part 61, which I'm pretty sure, no, it's not on the same sprue. It is on, is it on the sprue with the base of the turret? Yes, it is. So it's on the sprue with the base of the turret. Part 61 is this part, right here. So as long as you've got them like this, you'll have next to no problems putting it together. So 62 is on another sprue. Back to this little sprue, this is part 62, this one here. So what are you going to do for your Wednesday evenings? I'm going to be showing people how to put tanks together because the instructions are not that great. So this is actually the little sprue all done. So finally we need the sprue with the bottom of the turret to get the final part, part 63. Like so. So part 63, which is this. So these little 3 teeth want to go on here. So like before, it should hug the tank like that. So that track looks fine. So now I need this section here. Part 62. In the instruction they've got them with different colours. No idea why. I couldn't tell you why. Well, I probably could if I knew, but I don't, so I won't. So there's one little tooth in the middle which will go in there like so. I'm actually keeping it on camera, which is quite impressive. Yeah, comment below if this is actually any use, and if I do get any more model kits for, I don't know, King's War or Dead Zone or anything, I'll show you how to put them together. Probably more Dead Zone than anything else, because Mantic don't include many instructions, although they have started to include a lot more, which good, very good. Right, so the reason why I'm putting a bit of glue in all of these is because, and why that's raised up, is because I'm including this big bit of track as well. So what you need to do is fold this small bit of track down and have it so it's kissing the long section. So it's this little piece that has dropped on the floor that I can't find. Oh no. Ah, got it. I've got it. Fluff. Away with you. Fluff. Getting slightly annoyed, which is why I don't think I'll be getting any more of these, because building the tracks is getting annoying. Not as annoying, well, it's actually worse than the first time actually. And then we need part 58, which is this section. So a bit of glue on here. So that's that. That's actually hugging on there really nicely. And then we're on the home straight for the tracks. So part 58, which is this curved section, which goes on next. And then finally this piece. So it should end up a bit like that. It is now the top of the tracks. To start with, we need part 65 and part 66. So part 65 is the part, this long bit, but with this part on, because there's two long bits. They only fit one way. And then 66, which is on the top of the turret sprue, which is this bit. And then we need one of the light sections. Actually, they're both on the top of the turret sprue, and I'm going to take this one off, which is part 86. So there. So it will go on like that. So glue it on by just putting some glue along the edge. How much glue? As much as you want. Just don't go stupidly overboard, otherwise it might stick where you don't want it to, and nobody likes that. So I'll just do this bit off camera because it is a bit tricky. So that, like I say, ends up like that, as flush as that. Then what you want to do is, now this section is like this, so it's a bit fatter on this side rather than this side, and it wants to go on the tank like that. But before you do that, you want to glue the light in. So put a bit of glue in there, and the glue wants to go in this part, not this part. So glue in here, not in there. So if you see the light like this, flip it like that, and then just slot it and glue it in. And then take this, and it should just go on there like so. And friction's holding it, but just to help you out, drop it, retrieve it, and then glue it on like so. So that ends up like that. Onto the other side, which will be, is the little light on? Yes, so the other part of the little light is on the top section of the turret sprue, and it will be part 64. And then we'll need the bottom sprue, it's the bottom of the turret sprue for part 86, which is this bit. And then on this sprue with hardly anything on it, I need this long bit, which is part 87. So it should be like that, and end up going like that. So a bit of glue on. That should fit nice and snug, unless you get some glue on you, in which case you're in trouble. So like before, but it's the other way around. So this should be like this, and then just to make sure, yeah, that's fine. So turn it upside down like that, get some glue on this side, a little bit more, like that. Then get the searchlight like that, or it might be just lights, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And then get a bit of glue on there. Come on, a bit more. There we go. And that will go on there, like so. There we go. So if we put the turret, the top of the tank on, like so, and then close it up, that's essentially what the APC version is going to look like. Unfortunately it's a bit gappy close up, but for the price it is what it does, I think it's pretty decent. So move this to one side. We will not be needing that, because we're going to rewind and do the turret.